Yeah, and as I've said since day one, it's motivation is a feeling that comes and goes, and it doesn't matter whether it's there or not. Discipline is infinitely more important. So no matter how you feel, get up and do what you're supposed to do. That's it. And that's discipline. It's not motivation. If you only did what you were supposed to do when you were motivated to do it, that's leaving it to chance.
Do you think that people overcomplicate motivation?
Yes.
I find that discussions about motivation, a lot of the time, I mean, you are the soundtrack to a lot of motivation compilation videos.
That's right, yeah.
Motivation Universe, 40-minute get up and get after it Jocko video. So I think that a lot of the discussions about motivation can cause people to believe that there's some magical state that they need to be in before they do something.
Yeah, and as I've said since day one, it's motivation is a feeling that comes and goes, and it doesn't matter whether it's there or not. Discipline is infinitely more important. So no matter how you feel, get up and do what you're supposed to do. That's it. And that's discipline. It's not motivation. If you only did what you were supposed to do when you were motivated to do it, that's leaving it to chance. But if you're disciplined, you go do what you're supposed to do. That's the way it works.
I went and listened to an episode you did with Sam Harris 7 years ago now, long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
He came up with this really interesting idea where he said that you can't fake courage.
Yeah.
That's one of the most interesting ways to look at it. He said that courage or bravery, I think, is actually what he was talking about. It's an emotion that you can't fake. If you fake bravery when you're terrified, that is bravery. And I kind of feel like motivation is the same thing. If you do the thing when you're feeling unmotivated, that is motivation.
That's it.
So are you saying that all of the Jocko videos of motivation, they can just go off of YouTube?
Well, I say in a lot of those videos, and sometimes that's what it takes for people to get motivated, is to realize that motivation doesn't matter. They don't need the
motivation after all.
It doesn't matter.
It's a self-defeating video.
Like, just shut up and go do what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, I mean, the difference between the person that spends all day wondering about whether they should go to the gym or not and the person that just goes to the gym or not, even if they both go, they net out at zero, apart from the fact that one person has spent the entire day obsessing over it.
Yeah, and probably wasting some brain power on it.
There's this thing called, I bro-scienced, called the anxiety cost. So, opportunity cost, mm-hmm. right? That you, because of doing one thing, you can't do another thing. Anxiety cost to me is the wasted mental effort that you go through obsessing over something when you could fix it quite easily by just doing it. It's one of the most compelling reasons for doing a morning training workout for me. If you got to train every day, every morning when you wake up, your daily to-do list resets, right? You get out of bed and then your to-do list of meditate and walk the dog and answer emails and do all that. The sooner that you can front load that stuff, the rest of the day is just...
Yeah, discipline equals freedom. That's it. I mean, if you have the discipline to get up and get the things done, well, I often tell a similar story. This is the same thing that you just said, which is, hey, the weekend where you really only had two things to do for the weekend, whatever it was. You had to write this thing and you had to answer this other thing. And on Friday, you're like, I'll do it tomorrow. And on Saturday, like, I'll do it. And it's basically hanging over your head the whole weekend. Whereas if you'd just done Friday afternoon, the whole weekend would have been a lot better. So just do the thing. I agree with you. Just do the thing, man.
What does courage mean to you? Is that a good definition from Sam, do you think? Doing the thing in spite of the way that you feel?
Yeah, I think that's solid. I somebody asked me a question the other day, does courage have to involve risk? And I thought about it a little bit. I don't sit around and think about a lot of stuff, which might be obvious, I guess. But yeah, I think if you're going to get credit for courage, then there has to be some level of risk, whether it's, capital risk in doing something in a business or physical risk if you're doing something to run into a fire to save somebody. Yeah. So I think courage has to have some kind of risk involved. And then, yes, I agree with Sam Harris when he pointed out that if you're doing the thing, then that's courage, no matter how you feel inside your little brain.
Are you sure that you don't spend that much time sat around thinking of stuff? Because I know that you do a ton of prep for each of your podcast episodes. And as you're reading through a book, I mean, the insights that you pull out of that you drag across between you, I think you might be doing yourself a bit of a disservice there.
Well, yes, when I'm reading a book, I'm certainly applying the context of my life and my experiences and what I know and what I think I know to that. So I guess, but that's different than sitting around and thinking.
Oh, you mean like the sort of the chin stroking?
Yeah, I don't do a lot of that. Maybe I should do more. I probably need to.
I'd be interested to see that. I could see you sat in a smoking jacket somewhere, cigar.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I think when I run, I think when I'm doing jiu-jitsu,
Surfing.
Yeah, think when I'm surfing. And those are just, that's a great kind of empty mind. And there's times where I'm running and I have to stop and write something down. You know, I'll pull out because I'll be listening to some music or something. I'll stop and take a note in my iPhone about something that I just thought of. So it happens.
Courage is very hard to find when life gets comfortable for people. How can they stop their bravery from eroding when times are easy?
I guess what we already talked about. Do something that's hard and do it every day. That's one of the nice things about jiu-jitsu. You're going to get choked. You're going to be uncomfortable. You're going to get smashed. You're going to have to tap out. Your ego is going to get abused. Go do that. Go do that. You go for a run, lift, just do hard stuff. And that's a good way to keep that, I guess, fresh.
You think that maps across onto other areas of life as well?
It certainly seems like it does, but there's no guarantee on any of this stuff. Really. There's no guarantee, and it depends on what kind of courage you're talking about. Are we talking about courage where you're going to die, or you could possibly die, or is that what we're calling courage? Because there's people that have come from every walk of life that have stepped up in that situation, and there's people that have come from every walk of life and have failed in that situation. So if you're talking life or death, yeah, I mean, I think you actually have to get to someone that is sort of good with dying and they're okay with it, and then they're going to have a lot easier time pushing into that fold if it shows up.